Greetings one and all, this is X82, as always welcoming right you to this episode of X82's Unscripted. And in this episode I'll be reviewing Killzone Shadowfall for the PlayStation 4. Now, Killzone Shadowfall, as you may have seen my Call of Duty Black Ops 2 review, you might know that I don't like shooters. And the scenery is changed. Now I can hear you in the comments saying, but X82, why did you change the scenery? Well, I thought it was better lighting on this side. And second might you ask, but X82, but why did you bought Killzone Shadowfall if you don't like shooters? Well, I bought it for a couple of reasons. First off, it was cheap, 30 euros, so I was like, it might not be that bad. Second of all, there must be one shooter that I like. Well, there is, it's called Wolfenstein: The New Order. That game kicks ass. But I'm not gonna talk about it now, I'm gonna talk about Killzone. And third, actually that was all. So, how did it hold up? Let's find that out, shall we? Now let's start with the story of the game. It's kind of forgettable. I mean, let's start with the backstory. It takes 30 years after Killzone 3, which I never played. And the Vectans destroyed the whole Helgen planet. I don't know that because I read about it. By some kind of bomb. And they give half of their own planet to the rest of the Helghast that survived. So they start to call it the New Helgen. And they start to evacuate some of their Vectans people from the New Helgen. And this is where our main character, Lucas Kellen, one of the most forgettable main characters, comes into place. He and his father Michael are trying to escape the New Helgen, and they bump into Thomas Sinclair, a Shadow Marshal, who then rescues Lucan after his father got killed by the Helghast, and then he recruits to being a Shadow Marshal, and they want to take over the New Helgen away from the Helghast to being a New Helgen, destroying every Helghast that there is. But there's some people in the Helghast, like Echo, one of my favorite characters in the game, want to have peace with Vectans and Helghast, which would be really interesting if they focused on that more. But of course there's the organization called Black Hand who wants to mess shit up, so it's back being Vectans versus Helghast once again. So yeah, the story is, there's a couple of good things, but it's just plain forgettable, like some other shooting games that there was in the past generation. And the ending was so horrible. The ending. The ending. Whoever thought the ending was good, get out. The ending was shit. It was so sequel based that I can't even turn it into words. I mean, and now I'm gonna ramble for 5 fucking minutes. Okay, I'm not gonna rant about 5 minutes. More like 1 or 2 minutes. Fuck you. Anyway, the ending was shit. The story was forgettable. Kellen was forgettable. Only thing that good was the couple of points in the game, in the story, and Echo. Echo was awesome. So yeah, there's that.
Now for the presentation. It's really wonderful. I mean, the graphics are really beautiful looking, and it really shows what the 400 PlayStation 4 can do. Let's see what I do. You mean the 400? Forget it. Anyway, and I also like the voice acting. The voice acting was pretty good in the game, and I have to say that it runs smoothly with the 60 frames per second. But if you think it's too smooth for you, you can lock it to 30 frames per second, which is a nice choice to give to the player. I for myself played it with the 60 frames per second, and it looks smooth as fuck. So yeah, that is really good. It has excellent graphics, good voice actings, and it runs smoothly. What can I ask for the presentation more? Well, nothing, I think. Now for the gameplay. It's decent. I mean, it's a typical FPS, and holy fuck, that was awesome. No, seriously, that knife throwing was awesome. That was awesome, and the the controls are really good. I mean, it's a typical FPS controls, and it has some new features with the touchpad, like controlling Owl, which can hack alarms, doors, pretty much almost anything can attack. Players you can use it to get zip lines, and there's really new stuff with the owl mechanic. But I don't think it's not implemented enough. I only use it for attacking, ziplining, and shield breaking, which happens a lot in the game. Oh, and there's also a huge difficulty spike sometimes in the game, and that's annoying because I had to die over and over again in the later of the game. This is only the second chapter, so it doesn't show. I don't wanna spoil it to you, but there is. So but it starts to feel like your typical FPS, like Call of Duty or Battlefield. So that's why I think it's just decent.
Now for the replayability. It has online multiplayer, a couple of modes, some DLC, with some of the map packs are free, which is bullshit from the Guerrilla Games. I appreciate that. And I have to say this, that the frame rate is smooth, buttery smooth, 60 frames per second on the online multiplayer, which is kind of an accomplishment for their part. I mean, for myself, I say that it looked smooth and beautiful on the online multiplayer, just like the rest of the game, and didn't experience any lag. Now there is some problem with the online multiplayer, especially if there's no aim assist, which is kind of people like who sucks at shootings, like this guy, would appreciate it. But all in all, it's decent replayability. And now for the final verdict. Killzone Shadowfall gets 7 out of 10. It's a really good game. But it falls flat about the story, characters, and it being a typical FPS. Even though Owl is some kind of change of pace, which is really good, and which was kind of cool to control Owl. And wait, what? Oh yeah. Anyway. So yeah. So do I think it was worth the 30 euros that I paid off? Yeah, I think I got decent amount of content for that price alone. I got it, but I've seen that it will still go about 70 to 40, which is really steep curve that I won't recommend at that price. When it comes to 20 or 30, then I will recommend it hands down to you. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode of X82's Unscripted, and as always, if you enjoyed it, you can like, favorite, or even subscribe. And if you have a request for me, comment down below. And while you're doing that, check my description box, where you'll find links to my Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch page. So you can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and follow me on Twitch. Now next time. It's been a while since I've done a Wii U game review, hasn't it? So, let's see what kind of review. Oh yes, I should do this. So next time I'll be reviewing Zombie U. Ooh, that name is going to be scary. For the Wii U. Well, until next time, this is X82 signing out.